What's up guys, and welcome to today's video, the first video in the new year in 2019. I hope that so far your business is doing very well if you already started working. And this is also the topic of today's video because I want to talk about how you can succeed in e-commerce in 2019. So recently there have been a ton of videos like, will dropshipping die in 2019? Will e-commerce die? Whatever it is, we've heard this every single year. And I thought that instead of just giving my opinion on it and in the end, just saying that no, it won't die, I want to give you my ideas on what will be very important in 2019 in Shopify, dropshipping, or dropshipping in general, but also e-commerce. And even though I kind of say some things like on a regular basis, or because I say some of these things on a regular basis, I decided that I want to focus on some new or some other things in today's video. So instead of just saying the normal things and ideas that I tell you about in the videos, I want to try and at least give you some new concepts as well. But of course, the point is that I want to bring across what I believe is extremely important. So if some of these ideas are the same, of course I will also talk about them in this video here too. So 2019, everyone wants to know like what to do and what are the best ways to attack, because we all know that it's getting more and more difficult, that competition is getting stronger by the year. And the first thing that I can really tell you, after so many people that I've worked with and that I watched and that sent me messages, the first thing that I can recommend is don't jump niches and change niches all the time. Now, this will be extremely important in 2019 more than ever, because what people so far think is that if something doesn't work, let's say they are in the pets niche, right? And they just don't make sales, or they don't make good sales, long-term sales, they think that the easiest way to tackle that is by just changing the niche. And there are so many people that do that all the time, and probably also find yourself in this thing that you are in one niche, you try to sell for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then even before like your first month of Shopify runs out, or even your trial runs out sometimes, you're already switching niches, right? And you're like, oh no, before I spent these other $29 on Shopify, I would just try the next thing. And if you do it that way, I can almost guarantee that it will never work out. So I know probably a handful of people that did this all the time and it worked out for them. I would say 98%, 99% of the people that I know that actually made sales, including myself, are the people that gave one niche some time. And this is extremely important, because if you always go ahead and try the new thing, you never got to the point where you tried enough things, where you had the chance to really optimize your marketing and your ads, where you could really build out your funnel and your backend and everything. So if you always switch too early, you only see like a tiny surface, you only scratch the surface of your niche and of the business as a whole. And this is really difficult. So if you do it that way because you think, the grass is greener on the other side, it's definitely not the case. This won't work. If you do it that way, I can almost guarantee it will fail. Rather focus on the niche that you are in right now. And believe me, almost every niche, almost any niche out there can be made profitable if you try enough things, if you have good ideas, if you work on them, if you put the effort in, and so on and so forth. Now, the second thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need a solid ad budget in order to really test and move on and make sales, right? So what I see is people say, all right, here are $50, here are $100, and I want to try to make this whole thing work. And in fact, both Google ads, which I recommend all the time, which are definitely easier to be successful with in 2019 than Facebook, but also Facebook, like both of them, if you only have a very tiny budget, like I said, $50, $100, even $200 can eventually be difficult, but this is the point where you can really get some things to work. If you have a very low budget, chances are that you will never really see like full optimization kick in, right? So if you're never able to spend more than that, you will realize that it will get quite hard, because as soon as you try something, as soon as you see some traction, probably your first or second sale, you're running out of budget basically, or you cannot get the CPC down to a point where it all gets profitable, simply because you don't have enough money to really get all these things going. So if you restart now, or if you're just starting out in general and you believe that with $100 in your pocket it will be totally fine, it will be enough to advertise on Google or Facebook or whatever it is, I unfortunately have to disappoint you. And I recommend that in this case you really try some other things, whether it's offering services or getting a job or whatever it is, until you have that budget of $300, $500, $1,000 or more that you can really invest in marketing, because basically the more you're able to spend, the more likely it also is that at some point you will be successful and that you can basically, with the profits, you can actually pay for your whole marketing and more and more and more and so on and so forth. So the point is, you really need to hit that critical point where your budget is high enough to succeed, because you can be the best marketer in the world. If you only have $100, then it's super hard. If a client would come to me and say, hey, can you manage my Google ads? And I've done so like dozens and dozens of times, but if someone would tell me, but I only have $100 to do that, I would say, well, this won't work, and I wouldn't take on that client, because $100 is just not enough to test multiple things and to, you know, really build a strategy that then eventually works. So keep in mind that your budget needs to be a little bit higher. Rather save a little money than just wasting it because it's not enough. Alright, so the third point basically gets more and more important every year, or actually every month basically, and this is working on both your backend and your brand from day one. So sometimes it really amazes me when I get people that message me and they tell me, hey, I've made like $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million over the past year, but they still have an email list that is basically not responding at all. They still didn't manage to increase their AOV by a single dollar using like upsells and things like that, and they didn't manage to get at least some loyal customers that buy like several times, or you know, get their CPA down, etc, etc. And this is all because they only focus on the front end. So they only focus on getting those customers from Facebook or Google or whatever to their store, buy something, and then never be in touch with them again. Now I see that with many dropshipping businesses, it's actually very hard to build lifetime value, you know, slow shipping, etc. Especially in general stores, it's very hard. But you, from day one, especially if you are running a niche store or you want to run a niche store, think about how you can maximize CLV from day one. Think about how you can maximize your average order value right away. Think about, you know, engaging customers, sending them emails that are not only like promo stuff and do like quizzes or whatever it is, some interactive stuff, just in order to really build some sort of brand from day one. The way most people do it is, oh, let's dropship for 2 years, and then eventually if it works out, let's do, you know, post something on social media and then write a blog post or something like that. Why don't you start from scratch with all these things so that you can build yourself up while you're dropshipping, instead of at some point like making the cut and saying, okay, now it's the point where I do branding stuff, and you know, then it's basically too late, or at least it takes a very long time until it really pays off. So I recommend that you do so from day one. Of course, if you're dropshipping, you cannot like build your own products and have your own logos and everything and stuff like that. It's not necessary, but still build like a social media presence, have Instagram in place, Facebook, YouTube if possible. As I said, build a store that actually reflects that whole thing, that reflects your brand image, that looks good. Have an email sequence in place. Have a newsletter sign up thing in place where you capture leads by saying something like, hey, register here for joining our exclusive VIP club and getting a 10% discount or something like that. Just don't call it sign up for a newsletter or something boring like that. And this will definitely all be helpful, not only in the long run, but also in the short run. You will see, if you focus on these things from day one, you will most likely see a payoff in a few weeks already. Especially the more money you pay on advertising, the more money you will actually get in return from your well-built backend and your, you know, how you're building the brand and all these kind of things. So this is extremely important as well. Alright guys, so these were 3 very important points, very like top level strategic things. I hope that you didn't expect like, oh, do this little Google Ads hack here and, you know, choose manual bidding over automatic bidding or something like that, because obviously this doesn't make that many changes, or this doesn't change so many things. So I hope that this is helpful. I hope that gives you some sort of direction. I will be filming a few more of these videos over the next weeks, like probably 1 or 2 more of them. But of course, I will also dive deeper into Google Ads now again. I will give you some more videos on that topic. I will do another Q&A soon. And also, for those of you that are very interested in building their business and scaling their business with Google Ads, I have some more good news, because I'm totally relaunching and rebuilding my Google Ads training, the eCom PPC Academy. It's the biggest update since its like 1.5-year history. I will reshoot every single video. I will add a ton of new content, product research, how to find the best niche for Google Ads, how to scale Google Shopping, basically everything. I'm reshooting every single video that there is right now, and as soon as this whole new update will come out, I will have to increase the price again, because it's just so much new stuff and work involved there. So if you want to get this update, and if you want to take your Google Ads skills to the next level anyway, now is the perfect time to join, because it will never be cheaper than it is right now. And of course, once the update is out, you will also get it for free. So, this being said, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what your plans for 2019 are. Like, do you have a niche store that you want to push? Do you want to switch? What is it that you want to do? Would be very interesting to know. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't miss on a video, and like this one if you enjoyed it. And yeah, want me to make more stuff like this. So thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Hope that you will crush it in 2019, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye bye.